Welcome to the Tonya Hoffman's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hoffman, and as always, we have a fabulous guest star today, Miss Robin Austin. Hey, Robin.
Hey, thank you, Tonya, for having me on.
Yeah, you're going to adore Robin. But before we get going, we want you two to go out there and change the world from the front of the room. So go to Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out, .com, and find out all about how we can help you find speaking gigs, market yourself, and just have a lot of fun. Mention TV in the coupon code, just TV, and you will get half off. How about that? Alrighty, so let's go back over to Robin. So Robin, tell us what's going on fabulous in your world.
Well, after building two technology companies in my 35 years in technology, a bunch of friends and I who've been involved in technology, and we're engineer types, so we're the geekdom, okay, of society. We've been a little frustrated by the fact that, you know, security is such an elusive proposition, and we constantly are watching or evaluating new security products, new startups all the time, and we're a little frustrated, I'm sure, like everyone else is out there. So what we decided to do is, I didn't think I was going to be creating a third company, but, what is the saying? If it's going to be, it's up to me. And so my team, or my partnership, and I have now beginning to build a brand new solution, and it's under the name Privacy Blockchain. And so we're launching our third company.
Nice. I know it's always exciting to me, I think, to, kind of get out there. You see a problem and you're like, oh, I have got to make a solution. That's what I did with the Public Speakers Association. I'm like, what? There's no one out there really helping speakers? I can't believe it. So you saw this in kind of the security world. Is it like security for people like me, or is it for big business? Who is it for?
Well, it's for everyone, really, but we're going to start with the consumers, people like you, Tonya, small business owners, people at home, and it's because right now there is virtually no security, or only rudimentary security that's for smart devices, even for your cell phone. So, they're the most vulnerable, and so what we're going to do is we're in the middle of a beta right now, and we're going to finish that beta hopefully by the end of the year and release a new product for the consumers in Q1. It will be based on the blockchain technology. It's loosely based. There'll be a lot more in-depth involvement, but it will be based on that.
So when you say, with our cell phones, and because I think, like, I was talking to my mother, and, she's like, well, it's a phone. People use it to call. But realistically, we never use our phones to actually talk to people anymore. It's all really a computer now, right?
Right. It's well, even texting. And so this solution is going to protect texts, emails, and even voice. So nobody can get into those kinds of files or those kinds of technology. And that means that they won't be able to tap into your phone, or, your Amazon Echo, or your Siri, Google Voice, or whatever. That's the kind of solution we're going to provide.
Awesome. So what gets you excited about the kind of security world? Is there something that, kind of hits a pain point for you personally?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of frustrated because, I've been in security since the first antivirus was developed. Of course, in technology before that. So, when it first became evident that that was needed, the evolution of security has not been able to keep up with, our device development, which, we're in the middle of a digital revolution, which I find exciting, okay? The only challenge is that I even personally have experienced fraud, okay? So, Oh, wow. I mean, so, and with ransomware out there and companies and people, even people being held hostage, but small business owners can't afford when their data is stolen, okay? And really they don't, it's really not that hard to steal. That's that's the problem. And so educating the what I'd like to do is really get a hold of everybody and just within a 30-minute time frame say, look, okay, here's what you got, here's what you need. And no matter what we need right now, there really isn't anything because it's all based on the current Microsoft, Google structure. And as long as it's based on that structure, it's easy to get to. I mean, your data will be easy to get into.
Yeah, so I know maybe we can answer this because my mother-in-law is always freaked out about the whole camera issue on her, especially her phone, that people can see her. and I'm like, there's so many other important things, that you could be worried about. And if you're that worried, just put a sticker over it.
Yeah.
But is there like one area, like a really great tip that would help people just at this point before they even get your software that they could do like right away to help kind of secure them more, especially on the phone?
Well, on their phone, that's
you know, like
well,
not using the same password for everything.
well, no, but everybody has so many multiple passwords. Well, I mean, obviously, one of the biggest issues is that you need to have a single password. I mean, a different password for everything you do. And it's very difficult to keep up with all those passwords. So people don't do it. If it's not convenient, they won't do it. And that's part of the solution we're trying to provide is so you don't have to worry about that, okay? But really, one of the things they really need to do is, I mean, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people out there have, especially small businesses, have websites. Okay, they do. They all, they may even have a single page under GoDaddy or whatever. And what they don't realize is that they may not even own their own domain. Okay, so if you go out and you buy a domain, if you singly buy your domain off of Google or wherever's offering domains, or you go out and you check who is, okay? Everyone should check who is on their domain and see if they are the owner. Because a lot of times the hosting provider, if they say you can have free domains or we're going to offer this whole package, it won't be in your name, okay? They will be the one in charge of or in control of your domain, and you do not want that. You do not want anyone who owns your domain but you.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. My husband and I have been doing websites and software and phone app development forever. And that is the number one problem, that everyone goes with the cheapest. And believe me, there's a reason things are free or super cheap.
Right.
So always be aware of, those issues. And just because you have a web designer does not mean that they buy your URL. You buy your own domain so that you always have control. That's number one issue that we've run into.
Yeah, and frankly, even if you want to choose a hosting service, you really should buy your domain from one platform and then use a different hosting service, okay? Because, and make sure, another thing is that most people don't even think about, uptime on the hosting service. So, all these would-be hosting services out there are marketing their services and saying, okay, well, we'll give you all this free service here and free WordPress to develop. Well, that's all well and good. I mean, I like that from a package perspective. But at the end of the day, if you don't ask them the questions about, well, okay, so if I develop my website on your service, tell me in the past 6 months, how many times you've been down, or in the past year, how many times have you been down? So it doesn't do any good to have a website if it's not available.
Exactly. I know. We put everybody on we've got a dedicated server that's only got us and whoever we have. So it's only got a few people on it. And I love that because you don't even have to deal with a lot of that. So I know you have something amazing you want to offer our amazing listeners today. What is that?
Well, what I'd like to do is what I mentioned earlier. I said, the biggest challenge of individuals or small businesses is that they don't have anybody to turn to without spending a lot of money to find out, even just to get some good advice, okay? So what I'm offering is a free 30-minute consultation on what I've been talking about today. I'll ask them a few questions so I can assess a little bit more about how they're vulnerable, or how, a little bit more about what they're vulnerable with, and then turn around and give them some options that they can immediately implement, okay? So if they'll send me an email to Robin like the bird, ROBIN, M as in Michelle, Austin like in Texas, at CEO at gmail.com. That's Robin, ROBIN, M, Austin, AUSTIN, CEO at gmail.com. Then I'll schedule that 30-minute call with them and try to help them get a little bit ahead of where their challenges are today.
Awesome. All right, everybody. So immediately go connect with Robin. You want to anyways. This is all about going and seeing how can we all help each other. And what I love about Robin is she is truly an expert that can help. There's a lot of times people say they're an expert, and then sometimes they really are. So, so get connected with Robin, and and especially if you've got an opportunity for her to come and speak at your next event or radio show, don't forget, this is an opportunity for you to reach out for her.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Tonya, because I speak at security conferences and technology conferences all the time. And I would love to, and what I speak about usually is kind of eye-popping. Most people don't really know what's happening out there. So I really would love to come and just make sure and try to keep people safe.
Love it. All righty, everyone. Get connected to Robin. Always say hello to me. And don't forget, go to the Public Speakers Association, and don't forget to put in TV code for your half off special. We also are looking for speakers for our London conference, June 20th through the 22nd, 2019. So if you're like, I want to write off a trip to London, here you go. And why not go out there and change the world by actually speaking in London. So there you go. So get in touch with me, get in touch with Robin. Let's have some fun and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Tonya.